Okay, I'll have you start off in a nice seated position. So move any love that you have behind you so that your sit bones are rooted down and into the ground. Suss around a little bit. So you feel like you have some equanimity between the left and the right and that you're not favoring one side. And maybe instead of letting your ankles or your legs cross, just allow them to lay in front of each other. And place your hands on your knees. Think weight of a nickel, so you're not pushing down, but it's just a little light awareness. Push yourself back. Ears come in line with the shoulders, shoulders in line with the hips. Root down through the sit bones. Come up nice and tall. Crown of the head reaches up towards the ceiling. And take your full inhale here. Allow your sit bones to root down into the ground and the crown of the head to reach up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, imagine the shoulder blades sliding down and away from the ears. So that's your only job for the next few cycles of breath. Root down through the sit bones, crown of the head reaches up. Exhale, shoulder blades slide down and away from the ears to create some space. And you can maintain a soft gaze in front of you, but if you would like, you can close your eyes and imagine the space behind the third eye in between the brow line. You got acquainted with the first few rounds of breath, and this time I want to encourage you to make each inhale a little bit longer, maybe a little bit deeper, and the exhale just as long. This time, continue what you're doing with your breath, but notice how your torso is moving as you breathe. Is your chest expanding? Is your belly rising and lowering? And just notice. You don't have to change anything, but just notice how your body's interacting with your breath. This time, as you inhale, see if you can expand your rib cage, push out through your belly. Maybe slightly externally rotate your shoulders just a little bit. And then as you exhale, feel the belly button come into the spine, rib cage knits in. Inhale, root down, expand, grow. Exhale, create space, support. Beautiful. Let's start connecting some breath and movement. So as you inhale, pull the sternum forward just a little bit. Look up into a seated cow. Externally rotate the shoulders just slightly. And then as you exhale, rotate shoulders in, chin comes into chest, round the back. Hands can push into the knees a little bit deeper. And then find your seated cow as you inhale. Look on up. And cat as you exhale. So do a few cycles this way, inhaling, looking up to your cow, exhale, coming into a seated cat. And I want you to feel a little bold here. Really bring the sternum through, open up through the shoulders, and then as you exhale, round in. Tuck chin into chest, and then inhale, get big. Exhale, come in. One more round. And then finish seated nice and tall. Awesome. Reach your arms up high to the sky. Take your right hand behind you, left hand on right knee. Come up nice and tall. And then when you're ready, as you exhale, slowly rotate over to your right side. Maybe look out over your right shoulder. Try to see if you can get a little bit bigger as you inhale and twist a little deeper as you exhale. Or be where you're at. And then slowly unwind, bring both arms up overhead. Look up at your fingertips, root down through your sit bones, fold forward. Allow the hands to touch the ground, drop chin into chest, and then walk your fingertips forward. Find a sweet spot where your sit bones are still rooted into the ground, your hands are planted, your chin tucks into chest, but you're able to get like a sweet stretch going in the low back. Take a full inhale in and then reach for the top of your mat as you exhale. Create length. Give yourself space. One more breath here. And use your inhale to bring yourself up. And then switch the cross of your legs. So whatever one was front comes closer to the pubic bone, and whichever one was closer to you is now further away. Reach your arms up, nice full inhale. This time take your left hand behind your back, give yourself a kickstand. Right hand comes on left knee, sit up nice and tall. And then slowly rotate over to your left side. Once again, see if you can create and get big in your torso as you inhale. And go deeper into the pose as you exhale. Maybe you take the gaze out over your left shoulder. One more cycle of breath here. And then bring it back into center. Arms come up high. Fold forward. Plant through your sit bones. Ground through your hands. Slowly walk your hands to the top of your mat so you can find a spot where you're still planted and grounded, and then drop the chin to the chest. Take a few cycles of breath here, exhaling, reaching closer to the top of your mat. One more breath here. And then walk yourself on up into a seated pose. All right, yogis, come into a tabletop position. So hands are underneath the shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Plant your hands. Ground through your knees. Maybe pat the tops of your feet. And then bring them to the mat. All right, yogis, when you're ready, inhale. Drop the belly and look on up for a traditional cow. Maybe tuck under toes. Take a breath here. We're in no rush. And then when your exhale happens, tuck chin into chest, belly button comes in the spine, tops of the mat, feet push into the mat for your cat. And then find your cow as you inhale. Cat as you exhale. And flow at the pace of your breath. Now, if you feel good with your cat and cow, because you did it in seated, I encourage you maybe to play around a little bit. So make some C shapes with your spine. Bring the right shoulder and right hip together. Allow the left hip to fall over to the left side. And slowly switch sides. So making a C shape, bringing left shoulder, left hip together, allowing the right hip to drop off. Or stay in traditional cat-cow. Either one is good, and maybe you find yourself flowing between the two variations. This is your time in your practice just to give yourself an assessment, see where you're at. And that's not to say you're not going to change anything throughout this next hour. You will, because you're honoring what you need at this time, but you just kind of have a heads up. So find the cat-cows that you need. Maybe take a few more. And then when it's feeling good to you, bring the big toes together. Knees come wide. Settle in for a child's pose. Rooting the heel, bum on the heels. Hands are planted onto the mat. Forehead is resting onto the mat. And remember, this is a pose you can always return to at any point in your practice. Focus your gaze maybe at the third eye space. And settle in for about 5 breaths. Maybe reaching towards the top of the mat as you exhale. Grounding down as you inhale. One more breath here. And then slowly come into tabletop pose. Your forearm should still be onto the mat. Oh, sorry. If you might have switched. So bring your elbows underneath your shoulders so the forearms are onto the mat. Palms are planted. And then walk your hands forward just a little bit. Knees are still on the ground. Bum is still up in the air. You can walk your hands forward a little bit more and then bring the forehead into the chest for your puppy pose. So think of it as a variation of downward dog. Your feet aren't on the ground, your hands aren't on the ground, but it's your forearms and your knees. And
if you're in your puppy pose, you can always leave your elbows planted and then reach your fingertips up to the sky and take a prayer pose behind the back of the head, giving yourself a little shark fin. And you might notice a little opening in the front of the chest. But if you need more opening in the back, forearms stay onto the mat. So take another breath or two here. And then bring yourself totally long onto the mat. So the entire front body is now engaged into the mat. Forearms are onto the mat. The tops of the feet are onto the mat. Lower down slowly and bring your hands underneath your shoulder. Forehead is onto the mat. Tops of the feet are touching the mat. The butt is relaxed. Shoulder blades draw down and away from the ears. Inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest for a baby cobra pose. We'll stay here for a full cycle of breath. And then lower down. This time as you inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest, maybe come up a little higher. Keep the lower body engaged with the mat, but relax the butt and maybe lift your hands and let them hover if you want. But you can always leave the hands planted. Just be mindful that you're not pushing totally and completely in with the hands. And toss around. Can you come up a little higher, make your back bend a little deeper, or do you need to stay a little lower? Be gentle. No right, no wrong. It just is. And then lower down slowly. This last time, you're going to lift up to the fullest expression that works for you in your cobra pose. So you might be at baby cobra, you might be a little higher, and some of us might come up a little higher still. So find that sweet spot for you. And then lower down slowly. Beautiful. Push up into plank pose. So you're on the balls of your feet and toes, pushing out through the heels. It might feel good to rock back and forth. Hands are underneath the shoulders, rooting down. If you find yourself shaky in the arms, come out and readjust so the hands are underneath the shoulders. Belly button is into the spine. Look down at your mat to keep extension going into the neck. Take another cycle of breath here. Nice full inhale. And exhale. Take another full inhale. This time as you exhale, sigh it out. Hips come up to the sky. First downward dog. Play around here. It's your first downward dog. So it might feel good to pedal the feet back and forth. Maybe bend into one knee and then the other. It might feel good to rock the head from side to side. Or you can play around here in your down dog and shift forward into plank pose and then downward dog. So you'll be here for a few cycles of breath. So find stillness, play. It's all good. And then find some stillness in your downward dog. Take a full inhale in through the nose. HA side out. Another nice full inhale. HA side out. One more time. This time as you side out, walk the feet to the back of the hands. First forward fold of the practice. So let's not get too antsy here. I want you to root down first and foremost into the feet. If it feels good, come up onto the heels, spread the toes, and then set the toes down. And then feel the balls of the feet engaged into the mat, the lateral and the medial side, or the inner and the outer foot engaged, heels engaged. Bend the knees if you would like. Have the torso come onto the thighs. Awesome. Slowly come up onto the fingertips. So the fingertips are touching the mat. This might be a nice spot for your flat back, or you might need to bring the hands up onto the shins or the thighs. Then create length. So reach the crown of the head forward, tailbone back, belly button comes in the spine for your flat back. Fold forward. Root down through your feet. They're planted, they're grounded. Reach up, rise up. Arms come high to the sky. Full inhale. Then bring your hands down to the side, palms face forward for your exhale. Samasthiti here. This is a great spot to just root down, reset. Beautiful. Reach your arms up, full inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. Halfway lift, wherever that's at. Plant your hands, step both feet back into plank pose. Lower down slowly. Torso touches the mat. Inhale, back bend. Cobra. Exhale, release down. Push up into plank pose, downward dog. All one exhale. Hang out here for 5 breaths. You can always skip the down dogs and come into child's pose. I'll cue you when there's 2 breaths left so you can slowly make your way to downward dog. We're not rushed to do anything. And I'll make sure we all stay together. You just do what you need to do. I'll keep the ducks in a row. 2 more breaths. And then on your next exhale, whenever that is, walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your fold. Your halfway lift. Your fold. Reach up, rise up. Arms come high to the sky as you inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. Halfway lift. Plant your hands. Right foot comes back. Right toes plant for a high runner's lunge here. So push out through your right heel, look forward. Just a little bit so you're not rounding the shoulders together, but that you're keeping the heart forward. Root down through your left foot. Heel plants, toes plant, balls of the feet plant. Beautiful. All right, right hand to the inside of the left foot. Reach your left arm up high to the sky. Easy twist here. Full breath. As you inhale, reach your fingertips a little bit closer to your ceiling. And then as you exhale, thread your left arm underneath your left thigh. Look over to your right side. Inhale, reach up. Fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread the left arm underneath the left leg. Maintain your foundation in your feet. Reach your left arm up. Full inhale. Fingertips reach up. Exhale, left arm comes underneath left thigh, gaze comes over to the right side. Hang out here for a cycle of breath. Maybe take your gaze out over your right shoulder. Beautiful. Reach your left arm to the outside of your left shoulder, so it's like a T. Or you can flirt around with bending the elbow like a cactus arm. And then set your right heel down. Reach your right arm out to the side. And then when you're ready, reach both arms up for your warrior one. Play around here. Bend into your left knee, push out through your right foot. If you don't have a solid foundation, walk your right foot closer or give yourself a wider stance or somewhere in between. So take a cycle of breath here, find out what you need. Bend a little deeper in the left knee. Root down through your right foot. Bring the belly button into the spine. Maybe place your hand on your left hip and bring it back. Right hip comes forward. Reach your arms up. Few more breaths here. And then bend your elbows, like giving yourself cactus arms, like a soraro. And then guide your elbows back just a little bit
So it's like you're bringing your shoulder blades closer to your spine. And then flip your palms up. So it may feel a little weird. So find that sweet spot a little bit in between. And then look up. Keep the bend strong into your left knee. Right leg is strong and rooted down. Full inhale, reach up, look forward. Exhale, frame your left foot. Step left foot back to meet right, plank pose. Make a choice. How would you like to flow? And you can always skip the flows and be in downward dog or take a child's pose. Two more breaths. And then walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your forward fold, your halfway lift, your fold. And then reach your arms up high to the sky, full inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, frame your right foot, step left foot back, high runner's lunge here. No different than the other side. So make sure that you're on your right heel, right ball of the foot, toes. Plant your left ball, left toes, push out through your left heel, look forward. Beautiful. Left hand plants to the inside of the right leg. Reach your right arm up high to the sky. For an easy twist here. Root down and plant through your feet. This is going to be your foundation, so you're good. And then as you inhale, reach your right fingertips up a little higher. And then as you exhale, bring your right arm underneath your right thigh. Look over to the left side. Bring your arm up as you inhale. Right arm underneath right thigh as you exhale. Right arm comes up, full inhale. And then right arm underneath right leg as you exhale. Look over to the right or left side for a full cycle of breath. Beautiful. Bring your right arm out to a T. Bring your left heel onto the ground. Left arm comes out to a T. And once again, you can always bend the elbows and take the variations you need. Reach forward with the crown of the head. And then as you inhale, reach both arms up, warrior one. You're going to be here for a few cycles of breath here, so adjust your stance. What you needed on the right may not be what you need on the left. So be where you are now. Maintain your breath. You've got this. Awesome. Cactus your arms, bend your elbows. All right, let's play around a little bit with opening up the front body. So bring the elbows back a little bit as if you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. And then find a spot that feels good to you. And then flip your palms up towards the sky. And some of us are going to flip all the way up, and some of us are just going to be a little bit, because we're all different. Maintain the integrity in your lower body. And then reach your arms up high to the sky. Frame your right foot. Right foot meets left plank pose. Yogis, make a choice. How do you want to flow? And if you're ready, maybe you want to do a chaturanga and then up dog. Or maybe you already have, because it's in your practice. And if you take a child's pose, I'll cue you. I gotcha.
2 more breaths. And then as you exhale, walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your fold. And then find your halfway lift, your fold. And then reach up, rise up, arms come high to the sky. Settle into your chair pose. So, some of us are going to be hanging out on a bar stool tonight because we like to stay up a little high. We're on our heels, our toes are all lifted no matter where we're at. The bend is a little bit in the knees, it's there. Belly buttons into the spine, tailbone tucks down. Some of us are going to be on our kitchen chair. We'll come down a little lower. And some of us might be on a footstool or anywhere in between. So take a few cycles of breath here. And let's play around here. So you're creating a strong foundation in your torso. So let's see how you can maintain that. As you exhale, bring your arms back. Fingertips reach back. And then as you inhale, bring the arms forward. Exhale, bring back. Inhale, bring them up. Exhale, come back. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, come on back. Inhale, come on up. One more time. Exhale, come on back. Inhale, come on up. Hang out in chair pose. Your version. And then exhale, fold forward. Ooh. Find your halfway lift, yogis. Plant your hand, come back into plank pose. And then make a choice. Take it through a flow or meet in downward dog. But it's not a 5-breath down dog. And then once you're in your downward dog, reach your right leg high to the sky, 3-legged downward dog. And bend your right knee. Right heel comes over to the left side. Maybe open up a little bit deeper in the hip. Maybe you make circles one direction and then the other. And then right leg comes high to the sky. Step right foot through to your hands. Plant your left heel. Reach up, warrior one. You were just here. Cool. And then open up, warrior two. So you might have to heel toe the left foot back a little bit. Open up the torso towards the left side of your mat. Keep the bench strong in the right knee. Look out over the right hands. Warrior two. Left hand to the back of the left thigh. Right hand comes high to the sky. Peaceful warrior. And then come back in traditional warrior two. All right, I've taught this in studio, but never on screen, so it's a first. So rotate your torso, take your gaze over towards the left side of your mat, arms are out to a T. Bring your arms behind you, interlace your fingers, take a fist down, look on up, bend is still strong in the right knee, fold forward, coming into an ostrich pose. So drop the head, the hands can rest on the small of the back, or maybe the fists come up high to the sky. So you have your warrior two legs, but then a fold in the top part of the body. Beautiful. And drop your hands down if you would like. Bend is still strong in the right knee. And then walk your hands over to the left foot, bend into the left knee, straighten the right leg, coming into a ninja pose. Beautiful. Yeah, you guys got it. And then as you inhale, come on up, switch sides. So bring the bum up to the sky, plant the right foot, bend into the right knee, straighten the left leg, ninja pose the other side. Really focus on pushing down through the left heel and the right foot. Awesome. And then come on up, full wide-legged forward fold. And then hands come onto the hips. Slowly come all the way up. Rotate back up into your warrior two. And then warrior one. And then frame your right foot. Right foot comes back into left plank pose. Take it through your flow or skip it and meet in downward dog. Just remember, it is not a 5-breath down dog. So once you're in your downward dog, lift your left leg high to the sky. And bend your left knee, open up the left leg. And then left leg is high to the sky. Step your left foot through to your hand, plant your right heel. Inhale, reach up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Look out over your left fingers. And then drop your right hand to the back of your right thigh. Left hand is high to the sky. Bend is strong in the left knee. Root down through your feet. Ground down, reach up. Find warrior two. Rotate the torso to the right side. Coming into ostrich pose, second side. So bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Bend is strong in the left knee. Right leg is strong. Look up. Fold forward. And then find where your hands will serve you best. Back. Maybe the fist is up to the sky, but the bend is strong in the left knee. The right leg is planted. The lower body is engaged. And if you want, you can always release your hands and place them onto the mat. And then if your hands aren't already on the ground, have them come down to the ground. One more breath here. And then walk your feet over to your right leg, bend into the right knee. Left leg is straight, left heel is planted, left toes come out, ninja pose. Beautiful. Use your inhale to switch sides. Bend into left knee, right leg comes long. Ninja pose. And then use your next inhale to come wide. Traditional wide-legged forward fold. And you can play around here. If stillness is working for you, stay in stillness. If you want to play around with it a little bit, left hand underneath the face, reach your right arm up. Little twist. Maybe reach your right arm for the back of your left pocket, left back pocket. And then use your inhale to switch sides. Left arm comes high, maybe it reaches for your right back pocket. And up. And you can flow through one more if you would like. Because sometimes it's nice to get a little deeper twist. But as you're moving around, once again, the legs are your foundation. They're not moving. Forward fold. Hands on the hips. Come on up. Rotate your toes, coming back into your warrior two, warrior one. Frame your left foot, take it through a flow. It's a 5-breath down dog, so if you need a child's pose, I gotcha. Two more breaths. And then as you exhale, walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your fold. Your halfway lift. Your fold. Reach up, rise up, come back into chair pose. Completing our variation of Sun B tonight. Maybe sink a little deeper, or not. Beautiful. Reach up, rise up, fold forward. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, come into plank pose. From plank pose, downward dog. Reach your right leg high to the sky and bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Bend your right knee, push out through your left heel, look forward for lizard. And then if you would like, you can drop your left knee and then walk your toes back just a little bit and maybe walk your left leg a little bit longer. If you would like, you can bring the forearms onto the mat. Some of you may want to rest your head down. Some of us may feel better staying up in lizard. But really keep your right foot planted and rooted onto the ground. Don't allow the right knee to come out too far. And then no matter where you're at in your lizard, come back up. Hands are onto the mat. The left toes are untucked. And then take your right foot for a walk over to your left hand. So heel toe, the right foot over to the left hand until you've created enough space to bring the right shin onto the mat. And you can play around here. So with this way of getting into pigeon, you may notice that your right shin's more parallel with the mat, which will give you a deeper stretch. But if that's not what you're tending to tonight, you want to be a little more gentle. Right heel can come a little bit closer to the left hip. And then if you would like, you can always tuck under the left toes, maybe walk your left leg a little bit longer. You'll feel it in your quads. Come up nice and tall. Hang out here. Or when you're ready, come forward into a reclined pigeon pose or a sleeping swan. And these are always nice to stay at for about a minute. And I'll mind the time. So all you have to do is focus on your breath. Maybe keep a soft gaze here or go back within to the spot behind the third eye. About 30 seconds left. And then slowly come up. Plant your hands. Tuck under toes, your left toes, root down through your left toes. And then when you are ready, lift the left leg up. Send the right leg up into a three-legged downward dog. Maybe bend the right knee. Open up a little bit. And then find a traditional downward dog. If you want, sometimes it feels good to shift forward into plank pose and then back into downward dog, just to reset. And then lift your left leg high to the sky. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand, setting up for your lizard pose here. So plant your left foot down and then plant your right knee down. If you want, you can untuck your right toes. That's kind of your jam, what feels good. And find a spot here that's going to serve you best. It's nice to keep a balance between left and right with lizard pose, but you know your body best. It might not feel good to come all the way down if you did on the other side, or you might want to play around with it. bit. Maybe you can come a little bit deeper between left and right. So play around a little bit here, but then find your spot where it feels sweet and a little deep. And we'll stay here for a few cycles of breath. Really maintain the rooting and the foundation in the feet. It's almost like you're creating a base and a foundation, and then the opening in the hips and then even in the neck and shoulders kind of happen. Like you've created the safe space for opening. And then in your own way, if you're not already there, meet with the palms of the hands planted into the mat. And then take your left foot for a walk over to the right hand, like they're saying hi. And then bring your left shin down. Once again, try to keep some equanimity between left and right, but serving your body best and making adjustments. Maybe you need to tuck under your right toes and take your right leg for a walk to the mat to deepen the pose. Come up nice and tall. And if you haven't already, slowly come forward. Once again, being in your pigeon pose for about a minute. And I mind the time for you, so all you have to do is focus on your breath. Thirty more seconds. And then when you're ready, come up. Hands are planted underneath the shoulders, tuck under your right toes. Lift your right knee up, plant, root down, and then send your left leg back, three-legged downward dog. Maybe open up the left knee a little bit, open up the hip. And then feet come down for your downward dog. Last downward dog of the practice. So really find the rooting and the foundation. And then walk your feet to the back of your hands. And slowly bend into the knees so deeply that the bum comes onto the mat. Cool. All right. So from here, you'll come into a fire log pose, or sometimes this is referred to as double pigeon. So let's start with the left leg down. And then take your beautiful right leg, stack it on top of your left. And it might be beneficial to take the right foot over the left knee. Just as a reminder to have the foot activated as well. It may seem restful, but to have it activated. And you might want to have something in between the knees and the ground. Today my knee isn't going to go near my foot. Some days it does, some days it doesn't. Oh, another thing too, fingertips can come behind you. And it might feel good to lift and tilt the hips a little bit and then root back down. And then bring your arms out to a T. Left arm in front of you, bend the elbow. And then right elbow on top of left. So you can be in a figure four, like this. Or you can slowly find your way into an eagle arm pose. So you have fire log on the bottom, eagle arm on the top. And then here, take your left thumb, no matter where it's at, and place it on your third eye. So with this eagle arm variation, I want you to focus on resting the thumb on the third eye and then sliding the scapulas down and away from the ears. Sometimes it's nice to bring the elbows up at shoulder height, and you can do that too, but here it's just about creating space. One more breath here. And then slowly bring the arms out to a T. Hands come down to the ground, and let's switch sides. So the right leg's on the bottom, left leg's on top. Once again, setting yourself up so the feet are activated. Bring your arms out to a T. Right arm comes in front of you. Bend your right elbow. Right fingertips come towards the sky. Left elbow comes inside of the right elbow. Figure four if that's your jam, or your eagle arm variation. You know, be gentle. You can play around. And then no matter where you're at, bringing the right thumb to the third eye. And hanging out and just keeping the scapulas dropping down and away from the ears. And if you're really jonesing to bring the elbows up at shoulder height, you can. You know, no right, no wrong. Cool. And then when you're ready, slowly release. Reach your arms away from each other. Maybe flex the fingers down and up. And pushing out through the heels of your hands. And then in your own way, coming down totally onto your backs. Feet are flat, knees are up. Hands are out to the side like a T, reaching fingertips away from each other. Bring the knees into the chest, nice full inhale. Allow them to fall over to the right side as you exhale. Gaze comes out over the left arm. Supine twist here, and if you want, you can take your right hand and place it on your left knee for a little grounding. And then use your inhale, come back into center, gaze comes into center, knees come into center. And then allow your knees to fall over to the left side, gaze can come out over the right arm. If you want, the left hand can come on top of the right knee for grounding. And then come into center. Hug the knees into your chest. And then keep the right knee hugged in as you extend the left leg long. And then reach your right leg up high to the sky and bend your right toes. Flex your toes. If you want, you can bring the nose to the right knee. And then bring the right knee into the chest and switch sides. So right leg comes long, left knee is hugged in. Once the right heel is fully engaged, you're pushing out through the right heel. Lift your left leg high to the sky. Back of the hands come to the back of the left thigh. And you can always bring the nose to knee here. Maybe flex the toes. Take what you need, leave what you don't. And then hug both knees into the chest. Give them a nice rock from side to side. Take a hold of the bottoms of the feet or grab a hold of the toes for a little happy baby pose. And if there's any other inversion you would like to take, feel free to go there now. If you want, you can stay in happy baby. Sometimes that feels like a nice hip opener. But keep the low back engaged. Keep the knees coming into the chest if you're staying in happy baby. And then wherever you're at in your inversion, slowly come out. Bring yourself long onto the mat. Give yourself a nice full body stretch, fingertips away from toe tips. And then bring your arms down to the side. Maybe allow your feet to turn out. And come into your Shavasana. And I'll mind the time here. And call you back. All right, yogis. Take a nice full inhale in. Slowly exhale out. And give yourself a nice full body stretch. And make your way onto your right side. When you're ready, walk yourself up so you're in a seated position. Hands are rested onto your knees. You've been here before at the beginning of your practice. And take a few solid cycles of breath. Maybe noticing if you're feeling a little more rooted, planted, grounded, a little more open. And then reach your arms up high to the sky. Bring them together in prayer, but really be mindful that the shoulders are dropping down and away from the ears. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Sit bones are still rooted down. And then as you come down to heart center, take a pause at the third eye as a reminder to have loving thoughts. And then pause at your lips as a reminder to have loving words. And then pause at your heart with a soft bow as a reminder to have loving actions towards yourself and towards others. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in you.